Sometimes you got to ask yourself when's the right time to pull the plug. We're having conversations weekly, me and my Turo team, about if we have a future with Turo that we're going to want. The problem is when you're pulling a plug like that, or when you're deciding to move away from a business, you've got employees, they've got families, they've got their obligations. The truth is, I like my employees. I've been really lucky with people that I've gotten to hire in my career. Most of them are amazing. I just reviewed this video, which is me and one of my employees at Turo really talking through if there's a future for that company. But more than that, discussing why I want to have him on, why I want to continue the relationship. And I think it's a really valuable way to look at an entrepreneur who's got a bunch of businesses. Why do I even own a Turo company? Why don't I just put all my money in real estate? This is an interesting conversation he and I had, and I think it shows a really interesting behind the scenes view of how I look at my assets and how I look at my money. I hope you love it. Vending machines, or ATM machines, or chargers, or advertising screens. I actually think you would be in a much happier place, right? So getting these cars off our books and turning them back into cash, and then the amount of cash we have goes up and up and up and up. I agree with you. I think it's a diversification play. Because what we're not trying to do is be like, stop Turo tomorrow. We have cars. We might as well rent the ones that we'll rent until they sell. And the truth is, you can't manage 23 cars on your own. Sell those. And so I've always been in my head thinking it's a diversification play. And there's actually more profit there for me. I don't see it as, hey, 6 months, it's over. I'm saying I would love for the cars to be sold in 6 months so we don't have to re-sign another lease. I would hope we're on to the next phase of whatever the diversification play is in 6 months. And what I've always said is, if we can't do that in 6 months, if we are incapable, you and I, entrepreneuring together, of making this transition in 6 months, then we just need to call it a day. Go get a normal job, and I'll sell the cars and be done. Like, if you and I can't figure that out in 6 months, then we're not good at this. And I should just take the money and put it with the other real estate I've got and stop trying to be an entrepreneur with you in Charleston. Like, if we can't figure that out, we're not going to figure it out. And no, I'm not going to stay on salary forever to figure that out. 6 months just gives us a nice, clean thing to work towards. Now, if we get to 6 months from now and something is growing, right, and we've got another business model that we're liking the looks of, and you're working through the pains of a new business model, and we're figuring it out, and we're saying, hey, is this going to be profitable long term? That's where I hope we are. Like, you don't have to be cash flow positive, everything perfect in 6 months. I'm just hoping by the end of 6 months, the cars are sold and we have a plan moving forward. You well know that I'll happily pay your salary for a little while, period, even if it's not profitable for a little while. Like, I do not shy away from, hey, we got to figure this out together. I shy away from, hey, this is impossible to figure out. And I'm like, okay, well, if it's impossible to figure out, let's admit that sooner than later. And you might be better off in some regards with a normal job. If we can't figure this out, you might be better off with another job. Because other jobs have things that if we cannot figure out how to make this profitable together, then it's never going to be a future worth having. I'd rather just admit that sooner than later. And the 6 month isn't anything about you. It's just like, hey, I'm on a lease for 6 months. Given those facts, what do you think?
Yeah, that makes me feel better. For so long, I had operated with the idea of we're done with Turo. You have the Turo money to go start something new and let's build it. And so my thoughts were, okay, so I have 6 months to keep it going. So I'm going to keep Turo running as much steam as I can for 6 months. And then at the same time, I'm going to research an additional play to add on top of it to then do a swap at the end of 6 months that will be a one-to-one replacement thing.
There's
If
that are accurate, but really, I think of it more of you've taken the Turo fleet to 9 cars. That's all that's on right now, right?
Yeah,
I would hope that a 9 car Turo fleet leaves you time to work on this other project.
oh, absolutely.
Correct. So my hope is that a 9 car Turo fleet leaves you enough time to figure out what the future is going to be for you, right?
Totally.
And that the same salary that you were getting paid while running 23 cars while figuring this out is like, okay, we're keeping your bills paid so we can figure out the next step. But yeah, what I've said is I'm done investing in Turo. I'm done putting more money into Turo. Like I'm on my way out from Turo. Whether that on my way out takes 6 months or takes 3 years, I don't really care, right? If we have cars that are on Turo that are still profitable and we don't have to cut our faces off to get out of them, yeah, let's keep them on Turo. Like I'd rather have them on Turo earning money. What you've got to balance is how many cars can be on Turo while I also figure out the next step, right? And eventually that next step needs to be able to catch the money from Turo. And I'll make my obligations on my end. But yeah, I think what you're saying in the beginning, hey, I think we need to think of this as the diversification play. I agree with you. I think that's the way I always had it in my head, is that we're diversifying away from Turo and figuring out what we're diversifying into.
Yeah, I think that I saw it more of a binary thing than a fluid thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's it's possible. Human communications are it's imperfect, man. That's just the bottom line. Like humans are imperfect, human communication's imperfect. If we get to the end of 6 months, let's do a moderate plan. We get to the end of 6 months. We've placed 4 vending machines, right? Assuming that's the way we march. We've placed 4 vending machines. We've bought 11, battery machines. They're placed, and we're looking at the math, and we're like, interesting. We're able to extrapolate out our math and say, okay, it's taking me about a week to place or a month to place a vending machine. I'm having to do about this much work. As soon as we start seeing those math questions get answered, the equation writes itself. It takes this long to place the vending machine. Once we get it placed, it's roughly this profitable. Well, how many more vending machines do we need? What does that runway look like? Right? Hey, Jeremy, are you okay? It's going to take us about a year to replace our Turo revenue, but I'm liking what I'm doing. Hey, we placed these 11 batteries and we're not earning jack on them. Jeremy, are we okay writing that off? We're not going to buy any more batteries. Of course, Jeremy is okay with that. Right? And so, as long as we're building a future that you're okay with, I would love to keep working with you. My goal is not to exit, right?
Okay.
Because the exit's really easy, man. It's way easier for me to say, hey, Caden, just bring me all the cars, I'll sell them and go find a job. That is the easy solution here. And what you'll notice, besides giving you how obviously easy that is, I've never said that. And the reason is, I hope we can keep working together for a really, really long time. I would like, if I'm totally honest with you, to have Caden Olson be my diversification play. Because when I
Mm,
finish with Willow Creek and what I'm doing with Bedrock is all real estate. I'm trying to say, hey, I'm going to keep this capital out here and we're going to build something totally not real estate, right?
mm,
Because to me, it's worth doing. Number one, to keep working with you. And number two, to have some piece of my portfolio that is not 100% real estate. Does that
mm,
make sense? Like,
mm,
if you want to see it in the brain of Jeremy, I'm like, dude, Turo was not real estate. If real estate takes a downturn, I can still rent cars. That's why I've, besides working with you, which has been great, that's why I've kept doing it. I'm like, it's a diversification play for me. So whether that be ATMs or whether that be, you know, gumball machines, whatever that is, as long as it's not real estate, I'm trying to make sure I have some portion of my assets. And I would love for that portion of my assets to be like, hey, this is me and Caden's little empire over here doing its thing, right?
cool.
And as
Cool.
soon as we find something that works, I can raise money. That's the thing Jeremy does really well and takes risks that would blow up normal men's hearts. I can raise money, right? I'll tell the story of, hey, we're making great money in ATMs or whatever the hell. You just have to figure out what that whatever the hell looks like, where you say, hey, we've spent 3 years of your life investing in Turo and we have learned a lot of lessons. If we're going to spend 3 years investing in something else, what do you think has the highest probability of success? That's the question you're after right now. Like we're entrepreneurs, we're only worth what we create. So yeah, my number one at this stage view of is this working is are the cars selling? Because if the cars aren't selling, it's just more risk for me. If the cars are selling and we're repositioning capital, it's the same risk for me or less risk for me, right?
Okay.
So, what's next? Now, you may be yelling at the screen saying, but Jeremy, you guys buy thousands of properties. But Jeremy, you're managing hundreds of properties every single month. Why do you need a diversification play? That's the question that comes when you've never bought thousands of properties or managed hundreds of properties a month. Number one, we can't plan for the economy. And Bedrock's fundamental value proposition is if you don't get a return, we don't get a return. Some of that's based on the property appreciating. And like we've seen in the last 2 years, there's just been no appreciation nationwide. So number one, I want a diversification play because I know my risk position when it comes to my capital and my companies. Number two, managing real estate has its own headaches, its own problems. And so I want to share with you guys like one of the biggest nightmares we have ever gone through in the whole freaking time we've been running Bedrock. It's a hilarious video. It's actually one of the oldest videos we've got. It's me and my COO talking about this nightmare that one of our property managers got us into. I'm going to put that right here. I hope you guys enjoy. It's hilarious. And it costs us like 80 grand. So I'm going to put that right here. Hope you enjoy.